Pradeep Adhikari, who was also the lead for another dispute project in the Gautam Budh International Airport. Now, Adhikari, who is currently serving as the Director General of CAAN, has been recently criticized for impulsive decisions and directives. He facilitated the meetings with the Chinese contractors during the Nepal PM's China visit. And according to local media reports, Adhikari, a civil engineer, has a close proximity with Chinese contractors. He is manipulating the political leaders and engages in media trails as well. Remember, this is the CNN News 18 mega exclusive about the Nepal civil aviation industry being damaged by China. Nepal government sources have told CNN News 18 they've basically blamed the Pokhara International Airport and CAAN officials for the damage. Now, the airport was built under Project Director Pradeep Adhikari, who was also the lead for another disputed project, the Gautam Budh International Airport. Now, Adhikari, who is currently serving as the Director General of CAAN, has been recently criticized for impulsive decisions and directives. He facilitated the meetings with the Chinese contractors during the Nepal PM's China visit. And according to local media reports, Adhikari, a civil engineer, has a close proximity with Chinese contractors as well. He reportedly is manipulating the political leaders and is also engaging in media trials, rather. This is the exclusive information that CNN News 18 has been able to access. We're also showing you visuals of that particular individual, the project director, Pradeep Adhikari, when it comes to this entire breaking input. And this is also how China is damaging Nepal's aviation sector. Now, as we mentioned, this is a CNN News 18 mega exclusive. What Nepal government sources have told CNN News 18 is that they are blaming the Pokhara International Airport and the CAAN officials for the damage. We're crossing over to CNN News 18's Foreign Affairs correspondent Abhishek Jha for more on this. Abhishek, we've been able to go through all of the details on this. Tell us more about his involvement, Pradeep Adhikari, in this damage that's been done.
Also, it has been reported that Pokhara International Airport has become sort of liability for the Nepalese government because of the debt trap that it has because of the Chinese infrastructural development. And now the airport is not even international because all the flights are taking off are national in nature. And now the airport was built under the project director Pradeep Adhikari, who was also the lead for another disputed project, Gautam Budh International Project. So now the Adhikaris, this person's role has been under the scanner. He has been serving as the Director General of CAAN and has been criticized for impulsive decisions and directives. So he was, whether his role in the whole process of development of Pokhara International Airport and other aviation assets in Nepal on behalf of Chinese investment, was that under the influence of China, or he was lured, he was, given some undue benefits by the Chinese. This is something that the people have been talking in Nepal. And this will be the first time in Nepal's aviation history that the CAAN has been dragged into so many disputes and issues which have damaged its international image. We already know that the aviation history of Nepal has not been pretty good because of the technical reasons. There has been several plane crashes in the recent years. So the regulator, the Nepalese aviation regulators, the image has not been as good. And on the top of it, if the corruption charges comes up as part of this whole dispute, then probably the Nepalese aviation industry will have to do a lot more to revive its image of a corruption-free and technical snag-free aviation sector in the world.
Can you tell us more about the impact of this?
So the impact has been that the Pokhara International Airport, which was developed by the Chinese money, it was some $200 million that was invested on Pokhara International Airport. The EMI of that airport is now being a little burden for the Nepalese government to pay back to the Chinese side. Though it was a soft loan, but still the overall airport has not taken off in a way that it was supposed to. The international tourism has not picked up the way it was supposed to. And now Nepalese government is trying to turn that soft loan into a grant. Now Nepalese Prime Minister Prachanda is going to visit China in the last week of September after his New York visit, and there he'll have a meeting with the Chinese President Xi Jinping as well, where Nepal, other than the other challenges that it will discuss with the Chinese side or other grants or assistance that Nepal side will seek from the Chinese side, it is also planning to seek some sort of relief in terms of installments that is being paid for the development of Pokhara International Airport.
Absolutely. Abhishek, thank you for that. Do stay with us, though. We're being joined by security expert Pathikrit Payne on the broadcast right now to get us more on this. Pathikrit, what do you think about this development? This is a CNN News 18 exclusive about how the Nepal civil aviation industry is being damaged by China.
See, this airport is almost like the Hambantota port of Sri Lanka. If you look at
Absolutely.
the manner in which China actually builds infrastructure projects under the Belt and Road Initiative in various countries, on most occasions, those projects have very little relevance so far as the host country is concerned. And those projects are actually financed by China under literally in some or the other kind of coercion or by enticement, and then they are structured in terms of finance in a manner that the host country will never be able to repay the debt. Invariably, it leads to a situation that eventually that project is handed over to China in terms of ownership. That is exactly what happened with respect to Hambantota port. There are many such instances in many African countries where airports, ports had to be given away to the Chinese because the host country is not being able to actually repay debt as per the terms and conditions. If you look at the terms and conditions which are structured by China for such projects, they are extremely lopsided because they do not allow any kind of global tendering. All the major construction are done by the Chinese companies. The financing is done by Chinese banks. The insurance is done by the Chinese insurance companies. Skilled labor comes from China. Most of the finished and semi-finished equipment and goods will come from China. And eventually it is such that the host country gets into a debt trap. So I think Nepal's condition as the way it is today is also because somewhere they, unfortunately, they started doubting India and they thought that the best way out for them is to hold the hand of China. They don't realize and they never perhaps did not introspect or study as to what has been the condition in many countries, be it in Africa or Southeast Asia, where huge such projects have been created, which are dud projects, which actually may eventually look very beautiful, but beneath those beauty lies there are major traps which can actually debilitate a country's economy. That has happened with Cambodia, that has happened with many other Southeast Asian countries, that has happened in Africa, that has happened in Sri Lanka, that is happening in Pakistan, and unfortunately, Nepal is facing the same kind of situation right now. These projects are made by China for its own strategic imperatives.
Absolutely, and that's a very important point that you continue to bring us, Mr. Payne. With this, we are a little short on time. I do thank you for your time and for giving us your perspective on this. This is, of course, just yet another example of Chinese interference causing damage. Now, with this, we're heading into a very short break, but do stay tuned.